as well. I think it's the benefit of winning the Super Bowl. So it's been great.
What's the process like changing from celebration mode to preparing for next year mode? Is it difficult? When do you know it's the right time to do that? How does that work?
The process is always the same, honestly, regardless of if we won or not. It's always watching film, trying to rediscover yourself and to get better and find new ways to get better. And because of you have to grow in this league, and if you don't, you'll get exposed, honestly. And as a team, just growing, pushing each other each and every day, not worrying about the results at the moment, but just worrying about the effort, I should say.
You posted shortly after it was over that, paraphrasing, but you're almost ready to get back at it. That you didn't really get the sense of enjoyment, I don't know if that's the right word, enjoyment out of it, you thought you might. Have you given any more thought to that since then?
No, the parade was very special. I celebrated it, and it was very fun. But after that moment, it was back to work, back to trying to find new ways to get better.
Was that a surprise to you?
That was how you thought?
It did, because coming into the league, we were taught we're playing for this reason, we're playing for this trophy. And once we got the trophy, and it was just like, I thought everything would be fulfilled, like the hard work and everything, but no, it's the journey. It's the journey that matters the most and it means the most, because those are the moments that you look back on with your teammates and you spending that time and you going to war, you're suffering together and you're winning together. And that's the beautiful moments in it, I mean, the trophy, we can't take the trophy home, but it's cool that that's forever in the history books, but we're going to remember the moments more than the ring, so.
What have your interactions been like with Kevin Tulo since he became EOC?
Pretty much the same, honestly. Me and him always had a great relationship anyway, and he's been doing a great job stepping in with the team. He's just leading the meetings now more, but he's been doing a great job, I should say again, and our relationship is great. So.
How do you go about deciding, excuse me, how do you go about deciding like what you need to work on during the off season, what you want to get better at, and what is your process for deciding what that might be?
It always just boils down to just watching film and the things, and you just take notes. You just take notes of what you didn't do really well last year, and then that may have snuck through the cracks that nobody never realized, but deep down, everybody knows their weaknesses and their strengths, and you just trying to find new ways just to pick a few things, and you focus on that during the summer, on the OTAs.
I'm sorry. Last time I asked you about the Olympics, you had said I wasn't sure of the age and you'd be 30, but you also wanted to compete for a gold. Now it looks like that's actually going to be allowed to happen. Wondering if you still feel the same way about your age, and would you want to compete?
So I heard the Olympics is during camp. Yeah, so no. Yeah, so that would be tough. That would be tough, but hopefully that goes through, and I think that would be fun just to compete, and me personally, no, but because of camp, and you guys will be complaining about A.J. Brown is not at camp, and so will the fans be, so I'm gonna keep the main thing, as Jay said.
AJ, we saw in the Super Bowl that the passing offense needed to come through like you kind of were forecasting when you spoke out in December. Looking ahead to next season, obviously there's going to be a lot of tension on stopping Saquon. How do you approach what you think the offense will need to look like, or at least be able to adapt to, knowing that's likely to be the case?
I can't predict how the offense will look next year, but I do know we have to evolve as a team, evolve as an offense, and I think that's a question for KP, honestly. And for me, my job is just to focus on whenever I get those opportunities, just make the most of them, and that's pretty much my box. That's the box I'm going to stay in. But so.
Is that something you felt like you guys learned as a team from the first Super Bowl year, but then when you came back the next year things weren't great? They talked about needing a fresh perspective after the year. Is that why it's so important going into this year that you guys grow and evolve?
Yeah, that's an every year thing. Nobody knows what it's going to look like, and shoot, we don't even know. Even in camp, we're trying out things, we're trying new plays, and we're trying to get a new feel for the team because it's a different team, and trying to get a feel for each other and just continue to prepare. And we will know week 1 against Cowboys, honestly.
What's the backstory for getting John Legend? What's the backstory? How do you go about getting John Legend in your proposal?
He's a big Eagles fan. He's a big Eagles fan. He went to school here in Penn, so it just kind of teamed up perfectly for me, and so I'm gonna leave it at that.
AJ, you were among a handful of Eagles who didn't go to the White House. Why didn't you go?
I had a personal reason I was dealing with that day, and so it wasn't about politics or who's in the office or anything. I just had something personal going on with my family. So.
To go back to what you said earlier, to realize that it's about the journey and the moments, how has that changed how you approach those moments?
Just being present. At times we can always look at the future and trying to, I got to do this, get prepared for this. But being present in the now is what it's about. And so those moments, me spending those times, those long days, those hard runs, the sled pulls with my teammates pushing through, helping my teammates get through, or somebody helping me, I think that's the beautiful thing about it, and you building that relationship and you coming together, and it creates beautiful moments on the field because I know that Jahan is about to get this bubble and I have to block for him. And he's depending on me to do my job. And so when we spent that time together in the offseason over and over again, pushing through, it makes everything much easier because you have a brother that's dependent on you, and he got you.
AJ, there's going to be a vote tomorrow on whether to ban the push play. I'm just curious what your thoughts have been on this kind of movement to try and ban it.
Yeah, I don't have any thoughts on it. I think it's only 1 yard, so.
How would you describe your commencement speech, and what message did you want to get across? What kind of feedback did you get from it?
Yeah, that came together perfectly. I'm still very thankful that Chancellor invited me to do that, and I just wanted to put out that message, just pushing through hard times, and you're your own investment. And that was special for me because, that's the school that, I chose and I went to play there. And like I said, it all just kind of worked perfectly for me. So.
Nick,
That's when we got Jordan out of here.
Yeah.
Just your thoughts on him as your head coach and what he's meant for you.
Yeah, I told, I literally texted Nick last night, told him congrats. I told him I'm done when he's done. I don't know how long his extension is, but but he was like, of course. How long is his extension? Multi-years. So we'll see. Thank y'all.
We got Jordan out.